Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Desire Talks podcast. How are you doing? I'm great. I'm fandabby dozy. But yeah, today we're going to be doing something spectacular. We are going to be talking to another sex worker. Oh my God. And for those who don't know, I am Ethan Bradbury, aka MrBritainX. So that's what you can find that's my sex worker name, my stage name. But yeah, this one it is a little bit pulls on the heartstrings a wee bit. So Beatrice, me and her were speaking briefly, and I thought I want to interview you because the reason she got into sex work is because of a medical condition. Sorry, I got tongue tied there. And yeah, no, it's not nymphomania. I mean, we could find out. It could be she's a nymphomaniac, but no, she got into it because of this medical condition. So I'm going to pull her on, and we're going to find out why that is together. All right, let's bring her on. All right, everyone, this is Beatrice. Say hello, Beatrice.
Hi.
Hi. All right, so yeah, I'm glad to have you on. Could you just tell everyone a little bit about yourself, please?
I can. So I'm Beatrice. I go by Bea. And I'm a 36-year-old, I say adult content creator. I'm from the South originally. I live in the North, and I am a non-monogamous person in an open relationship with my partner.
Cool.
That's kind of a gist.
All right, then. So I've already explained on the intro, something I really, really wanted to focus on about today is you said you've got an illness.
Yeah.
Which caused you to go into sex work.
It did.
Yeah. Can we just dive into that straight off the bat?
We can. It's a bit of a long story, but I'll try and make
it. People want to hear your story.
Sure. It's a condition I was actually born with. So it's called joint hypermobility syndrome, or I think it might just be called hypermobility syndrome nowadays. It's a connective tissue disorder. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna explain all of that because I'm not
hypermobility.
Entirely...
Like I've got a bit of hypermobility in my knees. I've not actually mentioned that to you. I forgot. But obviously there's got to be different levels of this, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah, and I'm assuming.
Yeah, so a lot of people are hypermobile. So it kind of used to be called out, I think people use it interchangeably, like double jointedness. That's what you hear a lot. And so people would always do like funny things with like their shoulder blades and stuff when we were kids, and they could like, make them come out and touch each other and do funny things with their hands and things. I think a lot of people have that, but mine is hypermobility syndrome. So it's actually a chronic pain condition.
Okay, there we go.
So it kind of kicked in my teens, and then my chronic pain got worse through the years. I was formally diagnosed when I was 27, so it took quite a long time.
Okay.
They're not very good at like recognizing it. And yeah, it's kind of slowly got worse since then. But with the pandemic, so with 2020, I think just obviously being in, everything being the same, my mental health got worse, which kind of feeds into my physical health. And so my condition got worse. I wasn't working. And then I ended up exercising. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things that you can do to help with the illness is to like strengthen. It's a lot to do with like my joints aren't stable, and my muscles aren't strong enough to hold them in place. And so exercising helps to kind of strengthen the areas, because it's an all over body thing for me. Mm-hmm. So I started exercising. Got it. Yeah, I told you it was a long story.
Oh yeah, it's all right. We need to know more about this, because straight away the thing that most people, they'll hear what the name of the illness you've got, and they wouldn't think pain. They just think, oh, you're just double jointed, really bendy.
Yeah, it's completely that, and the kind of like nudge, wink, wink thing that people do, where they're like, oh, so you're really flexible then. And that's kind of what I get a lot of the time if I talk about it, and people go, is that why you do sex work? Because you're really flexible. But it was purely because I started exercising, started having a better relationship with my body, because up until that point, the discussion that I always had with myself was about how much I hated my body, because obviously I'm in pain all the time without fail.
So, because I was guessing, because this is what I was expressing to the fans, saying, I want to find out about this. I want to find out what made you get into it. So it's not a case that you can't work because of your illness, or is it a case that it does stop you doing a lot of work?
Yeah, it does. So
Okay.
Because it's a hard thing to explain, but because my pain is constant and like people don't guess from looking at me that I'm in pain.
Yeah.
But I obviously have it all day long, and I manage it best I can. But it genuinely did stop me from working. So I've done lots of different jobs before.
Is it because you have some days that are really bad, some days that aren't, and that's where it could stop you and can hinder things?
Yes, that, and just the fact that the pain can just it can take me out at any minute. So it can get so bad that I'll fall asleep, like literally fall asleep straight away because I just can't cope, or I'll throw up sometimes. Like it just got so bad, me trying to work. And obviously when you're in an office, so the last job I did before this was working in an office, there's only so much that you can say to people. Like people don't necessarily understand chronic pain. And I think because my physical stuff was so bad and I hated working for other people, I just hated all the jobs I've ever had.
Yeah.
So my mental health was never good. And then when you've got physical pain, it makes your mental health worse. And so it was just that, really. It just got to a point where I just wasn't able to cope anymore because my physical pain was really bad, my mental health was really bad. Then I hated doing the jobs that I was doing. And so it was just a bit of a vicious cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did sex work come into that? Where did you, one day you were at home not working in pain and thought, I could sell pictures of my boobs? I don't know. Is that how it went?
I wish it was that simple. Well, I guess kind of in a way. I think I just started the Instagram account because I started having a better relationship with my body.
Great, brilliant.
Yeah. And through the years, I've had Instagram and I've created content anyway. And in my heart of hearts, I kind of always wanted to do something with content to support myself because it meant that I was able to manage my own time and look after myself better. I just never had any clue what that would be. And then, yeah, I just kind of decided to start the Instagram account, which I started January 2021. So I've had it just over a year. And then I think I started OF in April. And it literally just came that I'm quite a sexual person. I enjoy filming myself. I'm a little bit of an exhibitionist. A lot of us are. And I think just having the Instagram account where obviously I'm in my pants. And I was really comfortable with that. And then I was doing things separately in my own kind of sex life. And I was filming and thinking, okay, I'm really comfortable with this. Maybe I can make something of it. And that's how I decided to do OF.
And that can obviously work, or does work really well with obviously this pain condition, because you have a day where you're like, I feel great today, I'm going to make loads of content and stuff like that. And then you have your days where you're just like, I am not feeling it today, I feel awful. So is that the main thing about it?
Yeah, it is. It kind of just allows me to manage myself better because, again, like when you're not working for yourself, you're under other people's rules. You have to, you can't collapse in the middle of the day and I mean, you can in some places, but you can't, be that emotional or in that much pain, or not, like, to the point that I can't do work because my pain is so bad. I'm actually unable to focus. I just don't have the concentration. And obviously, you can't be at a job and be like that. And so that's what it allows me. It allows me to kind of be at one, I guess, with my body and be, in tune with myself and work within my own boundaries.
Perfect. I mean, that's kind of what I expected you to say when you said you started this because of an illness. But have you found, because of this, it's allowing your body to rest and actually be better?
It's interesting. It kind of, yes and no.
Okay.
Because it, like, so, I mean, I'll talk about the sex side of things. Obviously, I do content for OF. Everything I do right now is solo. I am going to start doing stuff with other people soon, but actually doing things like masturbating and stuff, or sex, whatever, it actually gives me time away from my body, in the sense of like time away from the pain, because you're focusing on pleasure and things like that. So that kind of offers me a release. And you know how you feel after you've had an orgasm, like you just feel good in yourself, you feel
endorphins
nice.
been released. Yeah,
you feel more relaxed and things like that. So that's been the really positive side of it. It's tricky because it's social media and you have to constantly be online and present and creating. You know, you're always hyper aware of the fact that you've got lots of people around you doing the same job, and you kind of want to keep up. And so I can push myself to points I probably shouldn't, but I'm able to balance it out much better than if I was doing anything else. It does give me those moments to rest, and like I'm at home, aren't I? So really, like if I was feeling really awful, a lot of the time I'm on my sofa editing. Like it just affords me that opportunity to have moments of quiet or rest and ease that other things just wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I know where you're coming from with that. I feel this as a job it's non-stop, 24 hours a day. But where else could I go and just go, fuck this, I'm going for a day on the beach and I'll take my phone with me. I could just go for a walk.
Sure, exactly. Yeah, I think it has its good and its bad sides, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is like any, but I love it, thankfully. And like I said, I've done content through the years and I'm used to being on my phone all the time.
Yeah.
But it is very much like I'm on my phone as soon as I wake up, and I put my phone down when I go to bed. And I don't think a lot of people really realize that, because you still kind of get that stigma. I don't know if you feel it, but like around working as a content creator in whatever kind of form, especially on social media, a lot of people still don't see it as work.
Yep, definitely. And then I'll look at them and go, if I could work a 9 till 5 and get what I get, I would. But no, I'm literally from when I wake up to when I go to bed at night working, and then that's just the phone time. I've then got to schedule time to make content. And if obviously you're saying you're solo at the minute, aren't you? But you're going to go on to collabing with other people. When you collab with other people, you've got to travel around the country, and then that time is away from your phone time, which is networking, marketing.
Oh my gosh, yes, isn't that? Oh, I was thinking this yesterday because I was out of the house for quite a lot of the time, and I go into like slight panic mode because I was whizzing around yesterday morning doing stuff. I then was in town for the rest of the afternoon. Like, all that time is taken away from me being able to create content, me being able to reply to messages, to connect with other people. And it's just that you then are on catch up, you're working more in the evenings. Like it's that side of thing that people don't really
definitely
blame them. But
I had what was it? I set off at 7 in the morning, and I didn't properly get to my phone until about 11 at night, because it was such a day of like 5-hour traveling, then full day of like filming, and then I was traveling back, and then I was just oh my god! But luckily you can set some automations, but that's not the same, and you do see it can affect things. But what people as well? Have you had a holiday yet since you started?
No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, okay, there we go. You're there on holiday, and I'm setting a couple hours aside for work. It's 7 days a week. Doesn't matter where you are. Christmas Day even, I was sending out messages.
Yeah, well, that's a funny thing. So it that brings. So I was at home for Christmas.
Yeah.
And so none of my family know what I do.
Interesting.
Okay. Yes. I don't know. I think it's easier for me because I'm saying it's easier, but like, oh God, everyone does this, don't they? Touch wood, because Scarlett did it. But like my family are 4 hours away. So I'm lucky in that I have distance from people and I don't have to tell them things. But obviously it does make I was at home for Christmas for about 4 days. And I tell you what, like, and I can't create in bulk because of my illness. So literally I have to go each day. And so that was 4 days where I couldn't create, and then it's traveling and I got home and I was like stressed. I like got back here and I was really stressed. And it is like a constant catch up if you're doing stuff.
Yeah,
you're forever like switched on.
pretty
And
much.
yeah,
But
yeah,
huge pros to it. Like I said, you can just go to the beach and just be like, I'm working from the beach today, or I
yeah,
want to sit down and have a coffee right now. So screw everything else. I'm having a coffee.
yeah.
It is one of them. It's got its pros, but
It has.
you know,
It's people as well, right? So like it's the thing with social media. Like I feel so lucky. I've been on Instagram since 2013, I think.
wow,
And
you're like the
yeah,
first one.
or maybe it was 2014. It's just yeah, I know. It was back when people literally just used to like use the awful Instagram filters
Yeah,
and everything was kind of dark, and it was just like a little square of someone's coffee. But
yeah.
like, just how you put your mug down, not how everyone curates it nowadays.
Mm.
But right back from then, when I was on Instagram, and I had a blog at that point as well, and
Oh yeah.
I was on. Yeah,
What was that about?
It was about me.
Mm.
It was just about my life, which wasn't
About
really
me being me and everything me.
but it was, and that kind of is still what I do now, to be
Yeah.
honest. And so that fed into this. But yeah, right back from then, I was able to connect with people from around the world. And I think that's the amazing thing about doing anything on social media, is that you're constantly able to make friends or connect with people, and then you get these wonderful communities of support. So like being able to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
I've been active on Twitter, I'd say, since November.
Yeah.
And I've been able to make so many friends just from being on Twitter. Like Instagram, the community I have on there.
Yeah.
Not very many people do it. Oh God, not very many people do OF.
Yeah.
At least who I was talking to.
What I found, and I've discussed this a couple of times, I think, is Instagram. It's more fan interaction, but
Sure.
Twitter, I find engagement goes. You could have a 5,000 follower page or a 50,000 follower page, and the engagement with fans is just the same. It's not good. Yeah, it's not gonna tweak things, but it's really good for networking and marketing between creators and helping each other with like other platforms. So now you're on Twitter, like you're saying, you've met quite a few friends, haven't you?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been really important. It's been really important and valuable for me, I think. But yes, I have found that, because I realized recently, and I think it was because of Goddess Garth, that I didn't know I could find statistics on. I didn't know that statistics existed on OF, and so I was able to find them and look to see where my kind of traffic was coming from. And I realized Twitter isn't great for it for me. But the majority of mine is Instagram, and I think it always will be. I am super active on there as well. But Twitter has just been where I've been able to find like friends and a community. I have on Instagram as well, but I mean specific to kind of doing adult content.
Yeah.
The majority of people I know on there have an OF or other things.
I think Twitter's a bit more fun in ways. I like Instagram for the stories, because they get to know your personality a bit more. Twitter, I don't know, people's tweets can just be they can be darker, they can be naughtier, can't they? TikTok, I think,
like me, or I just like sprout shit.
Yeah, exactly. And TikTok, I think that's just where people are finding people now. That's but that's to get them over to your other platforms for interaction. That's what I'm finding most people are doing. It's here's my TikTok, but go to my Instagram.
Yeah, that is kind of the thing, isn't it? It's like also because you can't link things from TikTok.
No, you can't do stories or anything either. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I mean, TikTok's my favorite platform to consume on. Yeah. But I don't use it because I have issues with quality of content. Like my quality goes down horrendously on TikTok. My videos are awful.
Okay.
And I really struggle with like trying to build a audience there.
Okay.
I love it. And
I'm going to take a sidestep from what you just said. You have a thing about quality. So I'm assuming, let's talk now about your OnlyFans content. So I'm assuming, like you're saying, you're picky about quality. The quality of your content on there, you must be like, I've got to have the right lighting, the best camera quality. It's got to be full HD. or 4K. I don't know. Is that what? Is it true?
It's so I can't remember if I'd said this to you before, but like I don't have lighting. I'd love to have lighting, but this is something that I'm still really new.
Yeah, but look at your, like, for those who are listening, looking at this now visually, you've set up in a really good lit spot. I mean, your lighting's actually better than mine, and I've got a ring light right here.
This is a massive window.
Exactly. So you've picked a spot.
My neighbours can see me.
So you don't really want to film there. You don't want to be knickers to the side.
No, I do, and I have a lovely spy of a neighbour who watches, so I have to be really careful. But I am quite
that neighbour. Sorry, let's go back to that neighbour. Describe this neighbour. As in, are they older? Are they male? Are they female? Are they?
I think the guy is roughly my age. Well, no, maybe late 20s. That's what he's saying. Like I'm in my mid 30s. Yeah, and he just every so often will pop up at the window. It's actually quite unnerving. And he's kind of getting content for free, isn't he? Really? But what else can I do? Because this is the only I can.
Well, the reason I wanted to ask,
change the close the blinds.
Well, the reason I want to ask about him is because I wonder if he thinks you're making content, if he knows, or he just thinks you're an exhibitionist. He just wants to flash him.
Joe, don't. I didn't even think about that.
Because he's probably like, oh, she's doing this for me. Like one day I'm going to have to go around and ask for some sugar. You're just going to have this knock on the door.
No, his mum's there though as well. I'm assuming it's his mum.
Oh, I bet he thinks you're flashing him. I bet he doesn't think it's content.
Oh no, I'm so often in this window just walking around in my underwear or naked. So that's brilliant.
but your content then. So what kind of content have you got now, and what are we looking to develop into?
So all of my content, like I said, it's solo. It's quite explicit.
Yeah.
I don't really mind explicit stuff being on the feed. So it's like lots of me wanking, basically. Yeah. Variations of and little bits and bobs like me talking to the camera. I'm kind of trying to do a few more POV things.
Yeah.
I'm still getting my head around that. But I think, I just think it's just kind of explicit solo stuff. And then I'm hoping to obviously have sex with other humans on camera, which will be
That'll be good. That'll be good. And they'll hopefully bring a ring light because, you can't be in front of that window. So speaking of which, I just brought my light forward. I realised I'm starting to look blurry. But
I think so. I think people assume a lot of the times, like I said, I have a partner. That if you have a partner, they'll create with you. And that's not always the case. It isn't in my situation anyway.
Yeah.
So he's really not comfortable in front of the camera whatsoever. And so it's a thing I talk about quite a lot, where I say just because I'm giving consent to be on camera doesn't mean that my partner is. Just because I do adult content doesn't mean that he wants to.
Yep.
So we've tried a little bit, but it's hilarious how awkward it is because he doesn't know how to use a camera, and we're both just like, what are we doing? So
to be
that's
fair,
kind of why.
I think I've even posted it without realizing I didn't listen through, and there's one where you're having like a bit of like a couple's like, move your fucking leg. I posted it, someone's like, I love listening to you two like that. It's hilarious. It's like a full-on sex scene. I'm like, fucking yeah.
I think mine was just like telling him off because of how he was holding the camera.
Yeah, put it on landscape.
Yeah, he was like, well, what do I do? How do I hold it? And I was like, well, this isn't sexy. And the thing with my stuff is it's just me. Like I'm really always just me. And so I'm kind of being silly and funny, and I think he's often like, what's going on? But it would be good.
Do you know what? I think what's probably quite good though about your partner not wanting to be on is it keeps your sex for you two,
It does, yeah. And I don't know, he might do it one day.
Yeah, might do, but it doesn't have to be every time, You could say once in a blue moon, and then it's very different.
He'd be great at it as well. So I do have a built-in person who would be great at it but doesn't want to do it. But
okay, so I'm going to come back to this with a question, but I've got to do a side question first.
Okay.
So you two are non-monogamous. Yes. Is it one-sided or are you both?
Both.
Okay. So are you like poly looking for relationships, or do you just have sex outside your own relationship?
Yeah, sex outside. So like casual kind of dating situations, but not poly, no.
No. So is it like, do you two swing together, or do you?
We would like to, but we haven't had an opportunity as of yet.
Okay, well, that's something to come up, hopefully. But
Yeah.
so you're non-monogamous. Do
Yes.
you're interested in swinging together? If
Uh-huh.
he's not interested in being in the content,
Yeah.
would he ever want to film you with someone else?
Yes, and he has done, but just not for
Okay,
content.
so this is what I was getting into. You've got something there. Like, you've got a cameraman. You know, that is so up there. Most people are like, right, I've got 10 tripods, and we're gonna swap between all the tripods to get the best angles. And you
No,
don't
we
need
have
that.
spoken about it. We have spoken about it before, and he's shown at times. I think when his job is shit, when he's feeling really low at work, he's like, "We can do this thing together," and he gets really enthusiastic about doing filming and things like that. So he might at some point, and you know, if we ever film anything personally, and obviously get consent from other people, we might use that. But yeah, he could very well be a cameraman in the future.
It's a massive help, because honestly, when recording scenes and there's no cameraman, you've like really got to stop, think about it, and then that can kill the mood. And
I do with my own stuff. Like, I filmed something recently and I was trying to get loads of different angles. So obviously I have to like stop what I'm doing momentarily to move my camera to get a different angle. And so yes, I'm fully aware, and having seen other content, that when you've got one camera and it's still in one place, it is tricky. It's why multiple cameras are obviously ideal, but we don't all have those. So
well, it's not just like I know you can just get better angles. Like you can't even, sometimes you just cannot position into the angle that you want to get. You have to have someone move in with the camera. So with your partner, like, show him this little conversation and say, Mr. Britain has said, like, this is gold. You know, that will step up.
I'm gonna encourage him.
Like you could do like a slow motion, like Matrix scene, but instead of like the camera, he just runs around you in a circle, and then I don't know. Stuff that people don't have.
So we just write it down. Hang on.
Yeah. So that's really cool. So obviously you're non-monogamous.
Yeah.
Did you go into that relationship like that, or did that occur within?
It occurred within. So we've been together 13 years.
Yeah.
We've been together a really long time, and it happened. I'll get quite personal here. So
is your partner cool with you talking about this?
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Cool.
Sorry, yes, he's fine with it. So I think about 7 years in, he came to me with a kink that he has.
Okay.
And he said he wanted to explore that. And I said, absolutely not. Not interested whatsoever. Completely shut down the conversation, was like horrified, and just didn't want to listen. And then we didn't really talk about it again for a while. And then he brought it up again, and we slowly started talking more. And I think it took probably another 1.5 years, which sounds like a really long time, but communication in relationships, especially when you're taking a big step like that, so you're trying something that you've never tried before, it can take a long time to like wrap your head around it. So it's cuckolding, I should say, because yeah.
So this is why he's really cool with the holding, recording scenes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite common. You know, it's quite, you know.
Yeah, I don't think people like to talk about it, but yeah, it is quite common. But it just wasn't, it came out of nowhere for me. But I think my panic was like, oh, because he obviously wanted me to do things with other people. But I took that as like, that means that he wants to have sex with other people. And I wasn't comfortable with that.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't at all. And then as time went on, got more comfortable with the idea. Then I started doing stuff with other people. And then eventually we kind of sat down and were like, what were our next steps going to be? Because we couldn't find anyone to kind of swing with or whatever. And so we just thought, I just said, look, I'm feeling much more happy and comfortable, and we have great communication now. Why don't we just open things up and see And that was January 2020. So what a great time to open one's relationship.
Great. Sneaking people around through COVID.
Oh,
Nah, I doubt you were doing that. No.
But it's been slow going because of that, for obvious reasons. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Do you know what though? Like I've thought with this cuckold thing, you know, is he still into cuckold, or is he just into being open now?
No, he's heavily into cuckolding. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think cuckold porn's quite cool, and I've done the whole bull thing. I think it's
it's an interesting thing though, because the dynamic isn't like that with him.
Okay.
So I always I say cuckolding, and then I think, is it more hot wife? Like he doesn't, because you know, a lot of people, there's like what do you call it? Oh, I can't think what it is.
Well, let's explain as clearly as possible for the fans, the listeners.
Yeah, I know, like my brain is working overtime.
So cuckolding, the basic gist normally is like the guy of a couple, there's a man and a hot wife, tends to get off to the wife sleeping with other men, could be in front of him while he watches, where he's not allowed to partake, or she goes off on date nights with other guys, and she comes back and I've had a really good night and I've been shagged like crazy. Or sometimes she'll take pictures and send it to them. Sometimes he can be involved where he has to. Yeah, so he likes you to go off on the dates. So so that's his kink.
Yeah, so it's going off on dates. We've done stuff together where he's got involved, and then I do stuff separately as well. But so he's not like. Go on.
So he's not really bothered on the watching. It's more like, I want you to go off and do it and tell me about it.
He will watch, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
You know, like there's enough there. If I was to go out on a date, there's enough of a thrill there for him.
Yeah. Do you text him and stuff while you're on the date? So yeah, it's that one then. Yeah.
Which everyone always knows about it, so it's fine. And obviously people know I have a partner. And I explain the situation. Not everyone's obviously comfortable getting involved in it, and they don't like the idea of it, but frequently I just do stuff, or I haven't in like a long time, but like separately anyway, so my partner wouldn't be involved at all.
I think you could really the reason I wanted to kind of drift back to this is I done a cuckold POV shoot not so long ago, and like I've had a fan who's like, I've watched this like 15 times, I can't get to the end of it because I come like so easily because it's too good. So what it is it's the camera is the cuckold, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's from their point of view, and he's watching us, but she mainly, and we're talking to him, so I'm the bull. She's like, oh, I need a real man, then she calls me in, then you know.
That's the word, humiliation.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not into the humiliation side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, well, obviously, sorry, that's me going separate back to talking about my partner.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I would say about the cuckolding is there isn't that humiliation side of things. But yes, I get that completely. And
isn't what he's called then, is it a stag?
Quite possibly. I don't really know.
There is a term for it. It's like where it's a cuckold couple, but the male who's in that couple is very, he's not humiliated or anything. He's very empowered by it. He's very like he's very cool and slick and yeah. But anyway, what I was getting to is like you could do that cuckold POV porn where you're with other guys. It's just it's a niche that not many OnlyFansers do. You know,
you don't want that in my pocket, love.
But when I done it, yeah, when I done it, and I was just the bull on that side, I got so much praise. But the woman who I shot it with, she was like, "Yeah, my fans love this." They went nuts.
See, I didn't talk about my partner at first when I first started doing content because he wasn't comfortable with it at all. Just because of his job and things, and I disconnected from people from previous communities I've been a part of in the city, and I didn't want anyone to know that I was doing anything, and so he didn't want, I just didn't talk about him at all. And then I felt really bad because I was like, wait, I feel like I'm I feel like I'm giving, like I'm really open about things. I chat about everything, but like that part I wasn't talking about. And I felt like I was kind of lying in a way, because I wasn't, I wasn't mentioning. It looked like I lived in my house by myself, and I'm always like, I have no money, guys, and people will be like, how has she got a house? It's like, there's two of us. But yeah, now I'm talking about it more, and I talk about like being in an open relationship and dating and things like that. I feel much more comfortable. I feel much more comfortable with it, and comfortable to do that sort of content. So really, I should be making the most of it, shouldn't I?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something that could be beneficial to you as a couple. It's something that it's something that like, to him how much of a kink it is. Imagine how many other guys out there, how much of a kink it is to them.
So true. And actually, people do comment on, because I haven't worked with anyone else as of yet, but if I do get comments from people, often they will say things like, it'll be really hard to see you with a guy. So I'm like, yes, I do. I'm trying, but it's tricky to kind of make that step.
So to our listeners, if you didn't know what cuckolding was, hopefully you have a little bit of the gist of it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that I explained it very well. You did it perfectly.
Well, I think you had to kind of pick which type you were, while I was just kind of, right, I'll spread the info, I'll tell them what's going on. But it goes a bit more than that, because there's your type where he's stag, and then there's the type I was going into, and then it can be where the partner is a bit involved, where he gets the female ready with like oral, or sometimes it can be a bi cuckold or forced bi cuckold, where he's not bi, but he's doing it for the hot wife, and he'll orally pleasure the male to get him ready for, it can be like, it can go down that route where that's not the humiliation,
It is. I think people forget about the different dynamics, don't they, with things. So oftentimes you'll hear a term, or you hear about something and think it just means this one kind of way. So often when I've spoken about it with regards to our relationship, I've said, but he doesn't do the humiliation kind of stuff. And so then I've had people be like, oh, I didn't realize that was thing. That was something. Whereas there's variations in everything.
Yeah, because you can be like go enjoy yourself, have a great night, and then throw some money at it, go get some champagne on me. I don't know if he does that, but you could be slick and like
not really.
enjoy your toy boys, because you're coming back to me. I don't know.
It is often that, actually, go and have fun and then come back to me and have more fun.
Yeah. I've heard that actually quite a few times, especially with swingers, where it's like they go there and have fun with others, but they end up coming back for more fun between themselves.
Yeah, it's a big part of it, though. I think, especially with cuckolding, is like it's that, and also the kind of being used. Kind of, I really enjoy that, and so like, I've been used, kind of thing, consensually. And then come back and
okay. Well, before we move on to fan questions, I do want to say to all the listeners, if you want to go look for social media links for either of us, it'll be somewhere on the page wherever you're listening. Just go below to the side, above, left, right. It's somewhere. You'll just see some links, and just go follow us both, because we're awesome.
Come say hi.
Yeah, come say hi. Feel free to, like, the questions we're going to ask you now, I tend to put on Twitter, or I put on the Instagrams, so on the Desire Talks pages, where I'm saying, I've got this guest coming on, ask us these questions. On this one, though, you did it for us to see if we got different types of questions. So are you ready for them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm bracing myself.
All right, so we've got a few where people didn't want to be named, and then we got a few where they're okay. So I'm going to, if I don't say the name, people, it's because they didn't want it.
Or maybe just do first name, but yes.
Well, even on some, they're completely blank. They are. So we've kind of just answered this, so we can kind of bullet point this. What made you decide you wanted to get into sex work, and who would you like to collab with the most? If you don't know.
Yeah, that's obviously what made me get in was my illness. And do you know what? I don't really have anyone in mind. I mean, I have people that I'm chatting with that I'm hoping to organise, but I haven't really ever had anyone specifically in mind. It would just, I always wanted to be someone who I was friendly with and I had a good connection with, because when you're transitioning from, like I said, solo into club work, you kind of need that, don't you? So I don't talk to people who are like people I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a better way to collab, to be honest. I'm the same as you. I like to speak to people because I've done a few, like 1 or 2 collabs where it's been literally like, do you want to collab with this person? Or the person's literally like in your DMs, like, do you want to collab? I'm like, yeah, sound, I'm in that area, because I've traveled to go work. I'm like, while I'm there, I might as well get another one in. Or when it's been a group-based collab and they're just like, oh, we've got someone else's round as well. Would you be okay if they came? I'm like, yeah, sound, And then I'm like, it doesn't kind of go as well,
Sure.
I prefer to have that connection myself. So if you're going to do that, definitely the way.
Yes. I feel like art follows life or whatever. So I have that in my personal life. I'd like a good connection. And so I feel like I would want that for my content, so it can feel
it'll come across on camera. Definitely.
Yay.
Okay, so all right, I'm not going to read the full name. So we've got Dave. I'm going to read. So a question from Dave. You're always so happy and up. What's your secret to what's the secret? It must be exhausting.
Being ill.
Yeah. So you're happy because you're ill.
Well, because the flip side of it is I'm not. So, if I was to give in to the pain that I feel, it would not be a very nice life.
Yeah.
And so I lift myself up best as possible, because it's the only way really that I can do things. It can be exhausting. This is very much me.
I kind of thought that's where you were going with it. It's kind of like you've got to, like the whole thing with kill it with kindness when someone's horrible. Like, you've got to kill that pain with just pure joy and happiness. And
otherwise, life would be blimmin' miserable. If I was just to be on the outside as I am on the inside.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good answer. Okay, all right. I think you'll probably answer this straight away. From Dave again. If you could change one thing about you, what would it be?
Being ill.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I wouldn't, because
really,
yes, it'd be lovely not to be in pain, but in the sense of like I genuinely would not be doing this now if it wasn't for my pain. And it's taken me a really long time. Like I said earlier, like I'm 36. It's taken me a really long time to figure out what I enjoy and what I'm passionate about. And it is what I'm doing now. And I wouldn't have it if it weren't for my pain. Mm-hmm. So other than that, probably, what would I change? Oh no, I was gonna say nothing, and that sounds awful. Now I like being me. I can't think of anything that I would change.
Okay, cool.
Just being a natural blonde, so I didn't have to do my roots.
Fair enough. And one from, all right, I don't know if I've got, is it Eeyore B More?
It's just a handle, isn't it?
Yeah. He says, do you see you having kids in the future?
Which is like a funny question, because I don't know if guys get asked that question.
Yeah, we do sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel like as a woman,
never.
I get asked it, and because yes, no, it's the answer. I love children, and I used to be a nanny many years ago.
Oh right.
I have family babies. All like four family members have had babies in the past year, which is wonderful. But no, not myself, and partly because of my illness, to be honest, because it's pretty much not manageable now. And the older I get, the harder it gets. And so being pregnancy is really not very nice for people who have what I have.
Yeah.
And so, but an actual labour can be really, really awful. You can like dislocate things.
But when people are pregnant, they have that hormone released, which makes their joints more mobile, don't they?
Yeah.
So would yours just be like falling apart? And
I know people who have given birth and everything dislocated, like hips have dislocated and everything. Yeah, mine do anyway. Well, they sublup, so they like partially dislocate.
Yeah,
I don't need that. And then I just think the older I get, the more tired I'm going to get probably. And so throwing a child into that, not the easiest of situations.
So the answer's no. Okay, so we got a couple here from Knight's Quest. This one's on Twitter. Would past you be shocked you moved into this area, and would they be understanding or encouraging or / encouraging? When I say area, I'm assuming what that means is area of work.
Yeah. Probably would be shocked in some ways, but because I'm happy, I feel like I'd be understanding and encouraging of it.
Yeah.
Because it's been something I've been trying to find, that happiness and that comfort in what I'm doing.
Well, obviously you're a sexual person. Were you in the past? You always? No. So past you would be like, what the?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of that came from being on the pill, which is a whole giant conversation in itself. But once I came off the pill, I had like a sex drive, which I didn't have before.
Okay.
And so, yeah. And then just doing this, just being like non-monogamous and stuff has brought a lot out of me. And so probably she would be shocked, but I feel like she would be encouraging.
Fair enough. That's good then. She'd be encouraging. Same person. What, if any, aspects does the work bring out in you that was hard to manage before? Interesting. I think that was. So yeah, I'll read that again. What, if any, aspects does the work bring out in you that were hard to manage before? E.g., exhibitionist streak, variety. I don't really.
Hard to manage. Do you know what? I don't think there was anything, because I don't think until I started exploring stuff personally, I don't think I knew things about myself even existed.
Yeah.
So I don't think anything was hard to manage before, because I don't think I knew about it. And so it wasn't until I started exploring and like filming myself with people where I was like, hang on, this is something I really, really enjoy. And so I don't feel like, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but
I think it was quite a hard worded question, to be honest. I think you've done the best with that. Yeah. Okay. This one was by Anonymous. We kind of touched on it. What does your partner think of what you do?
He's fine with it.
Yeah.
I think people do always wonder, because obviously it's sex work, and I think a lot of people who maybe are monogamous, I'm not really entirely sure, but people who don't do sex work often don't understand how you can have a partner and do sex work if they don't do it. But he doesn't care. As long as I'm happy and I'm like getting to the point where I can support myself, then he's good.
Happy days. That's quite refreshing, because even the partners that are supportive, sometimes there is a little bit of like jealousy in them, but for the most part, the couples that I've met who, well, the creator who's got a partner, the partner's like, yeah, sound, like, just crack on.
I think sometimes it differs on like what sort of content you do. Obviously, I've only been doing solo, but he's comfortable with me being with other people anyway. He
has that kink, doesn't he? So I think it's. I bet he's been like, when are you going to cut this solo shit out and go sit on some dick? Yeah. There we go. So he's been like rooted and like he's cheerleading from the side.
Yeah. He's like, come on, enough solo stuff now. But you know, like
he's like clapping for gangbangs. I don't know if he wants to go that far, but yeah. He does. All right then.
He loves that.
Okay, all right then. I think he's got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. Me too.
Oh yeah, you too. So we got one from Scarlett on Twitter. I quite like these. I briefly read over them before, and if I remember correctly, this one I quite like. Would you have started sex work earlier in your life if you knew how you know it now?
100%.
Yeah.
No, I put it off for ages, and put off even having an Instagram account where I was in my underwear for ages, years, I would say. And so yes, most definitely, it's really not easy. So I want people to listen to know that it's not easy at all. And like I said, I'm online all the time. I'm not at a point where I support myself in the slightest. But yes,
to be fair, I think it's only a matter of time before you are. It's one of them. So
yeah.
Some people so for those listening, though, doing OnlyFans or any type of adult work, it can be slow, but then if you just keep grafting and you treat it like a job, not a hobby, you will get there. You know, it takes effort, it takes work. So there you go. So from Scarlett again, she's actually got 3 questions. The second one is, do you tell your partner everything about your work or just keep it as a need to know? Obviously, at the minute, you've been doing solo.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's quite funny. He doesn't really, like, he's never been on my OnlyFans.
No. But, like, I imagine the telling your partner everything at the moment with solo, there's not much to tell. But there could be, like...
He's like, "Are you wanking again? Brilliant." Like,
yeah. But it could be, like, the types of messages you're receiving, because...
yeah, I don't chat about, you know, everything I do is private.
Yeah.
You know, in the sense of, like, if I'm talking to people, that's private, that's our conversations.
Yeah. Like with me, like, obviously I'm collabing. If I'm going to go collab with someone, I always run it by my partner first.
I definitely would. It's like relationship stuff. It's like when I go and, you know, I would always, and in non-monogamy, we tell each other everything. And so in that sense, of course, obviously he knows what I'm doing. And also for safety reasons, once I start collabing, he's going to need to know where I'm
well, with me, like, my partner, like, doesn't matter. Don't give a fuck. Like, do what you want. It's your job. But I'm like, yeah, but you might think they're a dick. Like, what? Like, personal opinion, I think, matters. You know?
Yeah, I will run things past him and see if he thinks of stuff. But
yeah,
you know, beyond that,
okay. So
like, I don't need all the details.
Yeah, need to know. Yeah. So question 3. 1 second. Did you have to adjust your way of the way? Sorry, I'm going to read that again. Did you have to adjust the way your relationship works when you started sex work?
No, I think this is the thing again. Like, probably no, not even if I was collabing. I don't think. It's just things like time. I think once I start having to travel places, obviously there'll be things that we have to adjust to, get used to. But with this, no.
Yeah.
Not really. Just telling him to be quiet. But
yeah, quiet and filming. I don't need you in the background watching TV.
Because he works from home, or he doesn't as much now. But like when I started, he was at home 5 days a week.
Okay. So yeah, I can imagine that's quite weird. Like, he's in his little office or whatever he does, and you're just having a bit of a frig, a bit of a wank in the room.
In that sense, I didn't always. I'd just be like, right, I'm filming now, and then he just won't come upstairs. You know, like, yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, I've had it with my partner. It's like, right, I'm going upstairs. I'm doing a custom video.
Yeah, and then he just like leaves me alone, leaves me to it. Because on occasion he's come in when I've been filming for stories, and I've been like, "Why are you here? Yeah. Shush, leave."
Fair play. This one is by Anonymous. I really quite like it. How has sex work changed your view of the public for better or worse? I really like this one.
That's an interesting one, isn't it? I don't know, really. My thing says worse, but I think it's just because it's different. It goes 2 ways, I think, because I get a lot of support, and lots of lovely words, and then you get people trying to push things, you know, wanting certain things from me, speaking to me in particular ways in DMs, obviously sending images, which, you know, is awful. So it's kind of not really, like, I guess I expected it. All the bad stuff I expect, which is shit. Like, why should we expect that? But we do. But yeah, what about you?
I would describe it, I would answer it how you have. I agree with you. But the way to describe it is, I don't saying for better, for worse. They're both there, but it's now gone to, so the scale's not for better, for worse now. It's not good, it's not bad. It's incredible, amazing, and like pull my eyes out and gouge or burn them.
It's an extreme, right?
Yeah, what my opinions are of the public now, it's expanded in both directions.
Yeah.
So the good has gone from expecting people to be like, oh yeah, amazing, to you get some incredible support. You get some proper followers, fans who they just supporting everything. Like, through lockdown, because I was doing drunk Q&As every Friday on Instagram, which is golden, by the way. And I just have like people off Instagram just, oh, have you got an Amazon wish list? And it's like, yeah. And they're like, oh, put some alcohol on it. I just want to buy you some bottles for next week. And just do it, just little things like that. Didn't even know them, but they're like, you've entertained me. Thanks for being on stories. You were quite funny. And I'll get you a few more. You know, my drinking tolerance went through the roof. Like, but that's gone from just expecting people to be nice to being, they just buy me booze because they think I'm funny. And then,
which is really lovely.
Yeah, and then the horrible one is like, you give an inch, they take a mile, don't they? Like, you've shown a video of yourself having a finger, you know, and now they want to see you sit on a traffic cone.
Oh, we'd all love to be able to sit on a traffic cone.
God. But it's like, it's the people do like I don't know, you can get quite a lot of abuse, you can get some nastiness, you can get
again, you know, mine's been all right, but like it's just when it's on free, because so for example, my Twitter isn't explicit. And that's a kind of, you know, a step on I might take in the future. But I've had often people come over and be like, well, why aren't you naked, or why aren't you topless, or why aren't you doing this?
You don't have to be.
Yeah, exactly, on your own Twitter feed. And I think it's that a lot of the time, like people on my OF tend to be really lovely. I have really amazing people on there. And they're really supportive, and they've all, you know, apart from the odd dick, like have been lovely. But I've just found on like social platforms, people have been a bit more like, well, I know everyone gets this, like, can you send me something for free as like a, you know, before I sign up kind of thing. Well, yeah. My Instagram's the free thing, my Twitter's the free thing. It's just that, and then it's not just public as well, like it's other people who do sex work, or they're like masked people or faceless people, or, you know, or they pop up in my DMs and say, do you want to collab? And I've never spoken to them before in my life. And just, I think the expectation is just, I will, but no, I'm still a human. You still got to speak to me and ask me questions and, you know, be nice. So
I think it's not just the public, it's some of the people in the industry as well. It's like
people in general.
Oh, there's one, and I'm not going to say her name because I'm not that kind of person, but she was body positive, pish posh pish, you know, one of them, all across her bio, like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm amazing, I'm nice. She was a cunt.
Wow.
Someone who is very close to me tried to help her out and just say, by the way, this person messaging is actually a scammer. He's been pretending, he's an impersonator. Yeah, he was impersonating someone and trying to scam people out of money. She'd fallen for this fake account, and it was fake. Like, police were involved in everything, and she just laid in. It was like you fat fuck, you fucking horrible, and all body shame and negativity. And it was like, we audio recorded this and shared it on Twitter, by the way.
Oh my god!
But it was we shared it to a few friends. And one of the lads was just like, she sounds like she's been eating an ashtray. She sounds common as fuck. But she was like, I'm body positive, this, that, and the other. I have never heard someone get so nasty.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, it's social media, isn't it? So for a lot of people, there's a big facade there.
Yeah, it's a front.
Put on this persona, to like, because they want us, you know, support, a following, and things like that. Oftentimes it's for protection, like, you know, they get to be someone different and then they can be themselves at home, but oftentimes it's just because they're wankers and they think like, oh, I can behave like this and I know that, you know, people will support me or whatever. But that's funny. That's not good, is it, when people behave like that? Like, completely blew her cover then, didn't she?
To be fair, I even said, like, this person, she was obviously hurt. She was upset.
It's just defensiveness, isn't it? Like, it's so natural for people to be like, but you know, you see all sorts of things.
Yeah, but that's just an example. But I've seen other people try and attack people, like just for all sorts, like make, you know, just not attack, but just be gossipy little knobheads.
Yeah. This is the thing, like the old communities I was with online. I disconnected because that happens a lot. You get a lot of like backstabby, not very nice people, and so when I started doing this, I was like, I'm not having that anymore.
Old community. So go on. What's this then?
So it's just like when I had my old Instagram and stuff. So I used to be like a micro influencer.
Yeah, I was going to ask this. I didn't go into it. What niche was that?
So it was lifestyle.
Lifestyle. Okay.
I guess. So like I moved here and started taking pictures of like buildings and stuff, and it wasn't really a thing that happened. This is 2016. And like cafes and things like that. And I just became friends exactly the same way I've been doing now, just across Instagram. But it was not. It was like travel people, lifestyle people, fitness people, and it was nasty.
Yeah.
Not nice. And it made me really unhappy, really miserable. You get sucked in and then you become an asshole yourself, because if everyone's mean and talks about people behind their back, you naturally just start doing it yourself. And then I became like a version of myself that I did not like. So
I think I was quite lucky because I used to do the whole fitness influencer thing. And yeah, and do you know what? I didn't get a single bit of that. Everyone was just really nice. But were they nasty when you started doing this, you were saying?
No, they didn't. They don't know about this.
Ah, okay.
I literally blocked everyone. I'm a big like I'm a big draw a line and like start a new chapter kind of person. And so once I just started doing this and I started this new account, there were people that I didn't want to know who live, you know, around here that I just blocked straight away because I didn't want them to find my account.
Well, with me, I just created new accounts for the underwear modeling because I was doing it and I started doing it a bit on my fitness page. And that's where someone was like, you need to start doing OnlyFans. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. People were saying for ages, I'm not doing it. And then someone in the fitness industry, fitness influencer as well, he came to me and he was like, I'm earning this much money and And I was like, all right, I'll look into it. Anyway, so set them all up separate. And it's been a couple of years down the line now. And I just thought, because Instagram deletes accounts left, right, and center. I lost some accounts. I went, I'm just going to use my old fitness one. Screw it, don't care. And I left. So I've gone back on it, and loads of them like, whoa, holy shit! Like you've gone from fitness to like bulgy. You've got loads of you're wearing underwear like, everywhere. And it was a lot of the girl influencers who were part of the team who have been dead sound. They've actually took the time out and messaged, because a lot of the guys, they were a lot of straight guys, obviously, just like, whoa, don't really know how to compute this. But a lot of the girls were like, oh, it's good to see you again. Like, what are you doing now? I'm like, slinging dick on the internet.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, good for you. Fair play. They are really nice, actually. So any of those who are listening, any of the old fitness influencers who knew me, cheers for those who've been supporting me. You know, cheers for not being an arsehole.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd get the same response
if they were as bitchy as you said when you were doing it.
Actually, I know someone who found my account and showed it to other people.
Yeah.
And that was recent.
That's happened to me
within the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I know, and it happens to people, but it's that thing of like, I made the right decision and being like, you aren't going to be a part of my life anymore. I don't want to be around you. Case in point, they do that and prove exactly why.
Yeah. Now that happens to me in my community, like where I lived. Are they people who live near you, or are they just people you knew online?
Yeah, people who live nearest me.
There we go. That it's always how it is. And then what I did, and you might want to, I went straight to Twitter, grabbed my phone. I went, oh, cheers for spreading that. It just made me loads more money. And it stopped.
Yeah.
Because they spread the word. My subscription just went, loads of people joined up. I wonder why. Because everyone's nosy.
I think they did show quite a lot of people. It's hard though. It's a hard one for me because it was like something that hadn't happened before. So it's quite a lot for me to process. I didn't feel like I was in the headspace to be like,
Oh no, my heart was like for all of a couple minutes. And then once I went, well, you knew this day was going to come.
Yeah.
You put your face out there. It is scary.
It's taking control, isn't it, I guess, at times, and being like, that certain people are going to find out. So I've told some people who might know other people who I used to know, and if they find out that way, that's fine. But
you'll get to this at one point. it's quite funny. Someone said something about like, how you're struggling OnlyFans, and they put it on. It was a comment on social media. I don't remember where it was, and I just leant over and I just happened to have a big wedge of cash. I had £2,000 on me, and I pulled it and I started going, just wiping fake tears, going, oh, and I just put it all over my stories, and people were pissing themselves.
Yeah.
And it's
So
like,
funny.
if I happen just to literally just go, I have £2,000 now. I was like, I hope you feel good about that comment.
Yeah. Oh, people do that. People get funny, don't they? As well, like if you do well on things like social media, people hate influencers. People hate people who do OnlyFans because they often can't do it themselves, or they don't have it in them to do it.
Yeah, but it's a small minority, isn't it? We got
definitely.
Yeah, got loads of listeners here who are just like, hey, I follow you. I'm supportive.
Oh yes. Not you guys.
Yeah. Now, what it is so for those listening, what you'll hear a few times when people say this, what it tends to mean is people who are in their direct community. They get a bit jealous, get a little bit funny. And then once you're quite established, they'll be like, oh, they'll say to the people down the pub, like, oh, I know such and such. She's really nice. And then 6 months before, they were slagging them off.
Yeah, it crosses the line at some point, doesn't it? Where it kind of flings the other way. I've told sort of old friends who I've reconnected with, and they've been like, "Wow, that's so cool," and they've like wanted to see my platform and like hear about my relationship and stuff. And I didn't tell people before about like being open and things like that because I thought I'd be judged. And some people have been really, really lovely. So like you can get people who kind of bear or hold a grudge or are rude, but it's really in the minimal kind of.
So obviously you're saying your family don't know, do they?
No.
Okay, so are you prepared for that day, or are you just going to see how it is?
I'm ignoring it.
Okay, all right then. Fair enough.
I don't think they take it very well, and so, and I am able to have some kind of like disconnect from them. I'm really, really close to them, so it's an odd one, but like they don't know about mine and my partner's relationship either, and so there's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot to like unpack when that does happen. But I think I'd be okay down the line if I was like more, if I was in a position where I am sort of supporting myself, and maybe I'm a bit more, I'm doing quotation marks for anyone who's just listening, like successful in like if I get to a point where I feel like I'm doing really well and this is really really good, then I feel like maybe I'd have it in me. But I think while I'm new to it all, maybe.
I completely agree with you. I did the same thing. I started off and just went, I'm going to get it successful and then I'll be comfortable. And once you do that, it's a different story altogether. It's like opening a new business, proof of concept kind of. Like I can do well, I can live, I can thrive, I'm doing better than ever.
I do kind of, I want to kind of get there before.
Yeah,
it's hard as well. I don't know if it makes it harder. I mean, probably not, but like I don't know if it makes it harder because I'm a woman. Like, well, sometimes there's like extra stigma around that, but obviously any sex worker has it anyway.
Well, I'll be honest, from what we've spoken about, I say with the stuff that I know that you got coming up, I think give it 6 months, you'll be like, yeah, I'm laughing now. You'll be as established. You'll be like,
let's do that thing that people say and manifest that.
Yeah, that's exactly. I love that. But no, I'm genuine. I'm not just trying to manifest it. I'm genuinely saying, I now know what you've got coming up. We've got a few cuckolding ideas. Yeah. We got a cameraman.
We've got a cameraman.
Yeah. I think 6 months, it's gonna be gold.
I think it's just been like an obstacle in my brain with regard to, I mean, this is separate, but like, taking that step into collabs, and like I've wanted to do things properly, like, go and get tested and certs and all those sorts of things. And it's just, I've slowly taken my time to get there. So I think once I start doing things with other people, I'm hoping it will pick up.
You'll be doing great. So before we end this, is there anything you'd like to say to any of the fans, any other sex workers you've made friends with, like just any kind of shout outs you want to do?
Oh my gosh.
Or anyone you hate?
I'll get emotional or something. I'll cry. I just want to say thank you. Like, it's been, I don't know, like, it's just, I'm having a really, really lovely time, and I've so appreciated everyone who supported me up until now and will continue to support me. It's just been the best, but I don't know if I can like shout out specific people.
No, you don't have to. It could just be a general. So you're saying thank you to the people.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
lovely. Like, I wouldn't be doing any of this if I didn't have everyone's support from all the people who were, first followed me on Instagram to being my first supporter on OF. Like, it's been hard but lovely, and I'm very, very grateful.
There you go. Perfect. All right, everyone. So if you want to go see Bea's social medias, you'll find obviously links to OnlyFans and stuff there as well. Just find them around wherever you're listening, watching to this. My link's there as well. This is the Desire Talks podcast, and thank you for listening. All right, see you, everyone. Bye.